In this video, we're going to look at the Files browser over here. Before we get to that, I just want to point out that we have Battery open within a DAW now, and the sync button is enabled, so it's taking on the host tempo 108 and 108, and when sync is disabled, we set it manually back on, and it slaves to the host. Just wanted to point that out. Now, the Files browser over here is used to search your computer's directories for samples and for kits, and we can bookmark favorite locations, and we use this to import files to Battery's library, which we're going to do in this video. Now, to begin with, here are all the physical drives connected to my computer, and we have these favorite buttons over here in this favorites bar, and these are the default locations. They're just the actual hard drives, and as soon as I click on it, it shows the contents of each drive, and there's a shortcut for my user folder and for the desktop. So we can create our own favorites by just getting to the search results here and right-clicking and adding to the favorites folder. Now, I have this loop port folder with some loops in there. I'm going to right-click and I'm going to go add to favorites. So now we have a new favorites button in our favorites bar, so I can jump to the contents of that folder just by clicking on it. So there I'm moving around, go there, and now it shows me the contents, which are these two subfolders. So once I'm there, I can burrow in and I can audition samples. Let's go up using the go up button, and we can navigate to the other folder. This has got some one shots. So I'll go in there, and we have, like we saw in the library browser, the speaker icon, the loop icon if the samples have loops in them, the volume slider and the display, and the info button. So I can click on them, and if this is enabled, we'll hear them. And if I click the info tab, we'll see some info on the samples. Now, we have the favorites bar here, and right below it, we have the navigation bar, and this is how we navigate around through the computer's file structure. We have the Go Up button, which goes up one level, and we have what's called the Breadcrumbs button over here, where we can retrace where we've been to. And once we're in the actual hierarchy, we can click in here to move back and forth. Right now, it's showing us just one file here, but if we're burrowed into a bunch of nested folders, we can click there to jump to the specific locations, and we also have the recent locations over there. So lots of ways to navigate around using this navigation bar. So let's import some samples based on what's returned to us in this search results window. So I'm going to click loop port, and I'm going to go into this one-shot folder here, and I have a bunch of subfolders. Now to import, we got to click the parent folder. So if I go right in and select a sample, I can't import the one sample. I'm going to go up one level and import one folder at a time. So I'll click this one. It's called Moomba, and these are 01 through 05, and I'm going to create some categories and tags for them so I can search for them later. So let's hit the import button, and now we're presented with all of the familiar factory tags that ship with Battery, that all the factory sounds are tagged with, but we can create our own custom tags. This is one I created, and I'm going to create another one now. Let's press the Add New button, and I'm going to go Moomba, and once we're in there, I want to create another secondary tag for that, and I'm going to use this button here, Add New, and I'm going to call it, let's say MB for short, 01. So I want to import these 01, 02, 03, 04, 05 all separately. So let's click OK, and now those are both tagged, and I clicked OK and imported them right away. They're actually already imported. Let's click the next one. There's not very many samples, so it goes pretty quickly here. Let's create a new one, and I'm going to call this MB02, and we'll click OK. And there, we've imported them. Let's go through these really quickly, and then we'll look in the library and see the search results. Let's go add new MB03, OK, and let's click OK. That one had a few more. We actually saw the progress bar for a moment. Let's do 04 and 05 real quick. Moomba, new secondary category, MB04, OK. And there we go, last one shots, import, Moomba, secondary category, MB05, and we'll go OK. And there we go. So they're all imported. So now what I can do is go to my library, and in my user category here, there's the factory one, which we're familiar with, but I'm in samples, and in user, I now have all my samples here, and I have this Moomba category, and when I click it, I'm now going to get these subcategories where I can see the subsets of what I've imported. So very powerful here. I've imported a whole library. All the samples all together have this Moomba tag, so I can search like that, or zero in with the secondary category buttons like that as I created them. So that's a little overview of the Files browser. And once we have them imported like this, we can then use the Edit button here to actually change some of the properties. So for example, I'm going to click O1 and I'll shift-click to select all of these. And I'm going to go under Edit. And now the properties are available. First of all, I can change the tags here if I want to. But under Properties, I can now put in whatever information I want. Loop port, for example, I can put a vendor name and I can assign a color. Let's assign this one to that color over there, and I can add comments. And let's go apply. So now these samples are all tagged with those properties. So very powerful. So that's a little overview of using the Files browser to create custom favorite buttons here to jump to locations, navigate using the favorites bar, import samples, and then create custom categories and tags, and then search for them in the library and apply properties to them. See you for more in the next video.